Welcome to my channel, INTJ Island. Today I'm going to talk about an INTJ falling down the rabbit hole. Lewis Carroll wrote a delightful little book in 1865, and he called it Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It has fascinated young readers ever since. It has been turned into movies and was also the inspiration for the song White Rabbit, and it never seems to lose its attraction. The tale begins with little Alice chasing a rabbit into a hole in the ground and then finding herself falling down a shaft. As a result of this story, today, going down a rabbit hole has become a euphemism for being caught up in a search for something, but without any sort of hope of finding it, as things twist and turn this way and that, and one door simply leads to another. This can happen in a discussion with someone who will not understand anything you say, and when you point out something that shows his point of view is flawed, he ignores it and simply moves to a new point. And once again, you are where you began, and it appears that the rabbit hole has no end. I found it quite interesting that as Alice fell down the shaft in her rabbit hole, she took the time to think that she was falling to the center of the earth, indicating that in 1865, even a young schoolgirl knew that the earth was a ball. She thought, I wonder how many miles I have fallen by this time. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Let me see. That would be 4,000 miles down, I think. She went on to imagine coming out the other side in Australia or New Zealand. As a rule, arguing with those who believe in a flat earth is just so, falling down the rabbit hole, set with an endless number of silly arguments and nonsense, but no matter how well you dismantle one assertion, there are a dozen more waiting for you. INTJs have little tolerance for nonsense, and so endless arguments are rare, because we identify the fact that we are dealing with an irrational mind, and therefore obviously arguing further will be a waste of time. I have to admit, however, that on occasion I find it amusing to toy with a determinedly stupid person if I don't have something else pressing to do. On such occasions I find myself sarcastically dicing up a mind that clearly has no comprehension of the fact that it has no clue about what is going on. But it doesn't last long, because I find little joy in winning a battle of wits with someone who is unarmed. However, an INTJ can be truly lost down a rabbit hole when he is chasing after an idea. When I was much younger than today, and long before the days of the internet, I kept a paperback encyclopedia on my desk. It was about 2.5 inches thick, and I was often lost inside of it. I would look up one bit of data, and it led to another, which led to another. For many years, I annually purchased the current edition of the World Almanac and spent a good deal of time inside its pages. In 1972, the year my oldest son was born, I bought my first Encyclopedia Britannica. I had remembered during my childhood how my father had dreamed about having an encyclopedia in the house, but it never happened. So when I had the chance, I picked one up from a door-to-door salesman, and suddenly life was good. It was way better than the World Encyclopedia, which I had read so often in school. A lot of the articles were written at the college level, and I could, and did, get lost inside those volumes. In discussing one topic, it would mention something else, and naturally I ended up looking that up next. Today, my wife thinks I live down a rabbit hole, because she always is telling me that I am thinking about something constantly, and there is no good time to interrupt me. But what is an INTJ to do? Today, with the internet, there's an unlimited number of resources that I can jump to as I move around in my rabbit hole. The things that Alice ran into were interesting, but what I find on the internet is far more fascinating and can be every bit as surprising as what Alice discovered in Wonderland. While she physically changed her size, I can delve into the vastness of the universe, which is way bigger than Alice was after she grew. I can descend into the realm of the atom and its particles, which is way smaller than Alice became when she shrunk down to swim with the mouse. How can a Mad Hatter's Tea Party compare with all the aspects of chaos in the universe? Chasing ideas has never been easier, and things like Wikipedia are there 24/7, where you only have to click your mouse and you are in a wonderland, an endless field of ideas, like flowers growing around you, stretching off into the distance in every direction. If a fact is just beyond your memory's reach, you Google it, and there it is, fleshed out and ready to enjoy. And then you can slip it into your intuitive pattern that you have been working on. When I am down the rabbit hole, time seems to warp. I often find that when I finally manage to crawl out again, hours have passed by. Trying to explain where I have been to others is very difficult, because only another mind like my own would appreciate the journey I just took. One other interesting aspect of this is that I can leave off an adventure I have enjoyed while down my private rabbit hole, and then I can return to it sometimes years later. When I'm working on an idea, it can be slid to the back burner, as it were, and left to simmer as I work on other things. Then later on, something will trigger my mind into diving back into the project, and once again, I am on a journey into the unknown. I often think of the little poster I saw months ago online, and it said, "Don't walk a mile in my shoes, that would be boring. Spend 30 seconds inside my head and it will freak you out." Introverted intuition is impossible to fully understand for anyone who doesn't use it himself, and it joins up with extroverted thinking to lead the INTJ mind on quests for knowledge and understanding, shaping patterns that suddenly appear and which cry out for more data to fill in the holes. Alice asked the Cheshire Cat, "Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to walk from here?" The cat replied, "That depends a good deal on where you want to get to." "I don't much care where," said Alice. "Then it doesn't matter which way you walk," said the cat. "So long as I get somewhere," she added as explanation. "Oh, you are sure to do that," said the cat, "if you only walk far enough." That sounds very much like my mental excursions down the rabbit hole. I don't know where I'm going when I drop in, but if I walk far enough, I will get somewhere, and it will be interesting. Does this resonate with you? Do you find yourself falling down a rabbit hole and finding that you like it as you flesh out ideas and patterns of your own? If you enjoyed the video, please click like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you click on the bell, you will also receive notifications when I put up a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.